Hey guys! So I know in my last video I said I was going to try to go to the Bernie Sanders rally in Los Angeles on Sunday, which I did. I got to go. It was awesome. But I said I was going to try to make a video and like post it as soon as possible. So that's the part that didn't happen. I mean, obviously, right? Or you would have seen it already. But the reason it didn't happen is because I actually, while I was waiting in line, I got picked to be in like a separate section where I wasn't allowed to take photos or video. So pretty much the only video that I took the entire night was of some people that I met in line juggling. So let's go back to the beginning, okay? So I decided I was going to go to this event, which started at 5 o'clock, but the doors open at 3. I figured I should probably plan to show up a little bit early, but just out of curiosity to like see how far ahead I needed to plan, I asked around with some other volunteers and people who've gone to rallies in other cities and tried to figure out like how early I really needed to show up. And one person suggested I show up 4 hours before doors open. Another person suggested 8 hours. 8 hours before the doors open. So that would be like 7 a.m. for like a 3 p.m. door time for an event that starts at 5. And I really didn't want to spend all day waiting in line by myself, so I like was not going to do that. But I figured I would just show up kind of as early as possible or as early as seemed reasonable, and that ended up being about 1:30. They actually did start letting people into the building a little bit after 2 o'clock. They just didn't let us into the actual hall until 3. So by the way, I was at the LA Convention Center, and like as soon as they started letting people in, like you could tell people were very excited and like wanted to make sure they get a good spot, and they were being polite for sure, but you could tell that people were trying to get inside as quickly as possible. And at one point, like one of the guys at the door said,
first 1,000 people in the door, you're gonna get in. No.
So that was good to hear. Like even though I thought I might have been a little bit late, like I was fine. So then while we were waiting in line, like inside the little area between the front door before you get to the hall, just kind of killing time, people were like mingling and talking to each other. Someone came up to me and asked if I wanted to be one of the people on stage with Bernie, like kind of behind him and the other speakers while they're giving their speeches. Like if you've ever seen rallies like this and stuff, usually there's a small crowd of people behind the person, like kind of excited, maybe they're waving signs or whatever. And I always thought that was just coincidental. Like I thought that that's just how the stage was set up. Like I pictured the stage being in the middle of a crowd of people, like kind of arena style. And maybe that's true sometimes, but I guess when it's not set up like that, they will put people behind the stage so you can see like some of their supporters. So one of the people who was asking me this, one of the volunteers, like showed me a video from a previous rally where you could see like the line of supporters basically right behind Bernie. Like I want to say like 5 feet away, something like that, maybe further, but they were pretty close. And so I mean, obviously, yes, I wanted to do this. They also told me though that if you do decide to be on the stage, you can't take photos or video, you can't have your phone out, you can't have your camera out, you can't do anything like that. And I was like, oh well, that's kind of a bummer, because I kind of really wanted to make a video about the event. Like I literally brought 3 fully charged batteries, which I don't think I've ever gone through 3 batteries in one day in my life, but I wanted to be prepared. But I said, you know what, like this sounds cooler. And I was like, you know, I'm sure whatever video comes out from like the live stream or from, you know, whatever professional photographers and videographers are doing this is probably going to be better than mine. So sure, I'm okay with like not filming, not taking photos. That's fine. So they gave me my little wristband and they told me at 5 o'clock to go meet by a specific area. And until then, like I was supposed to just hang out, I guess. So I got a spot right next to the stage. Basically there was like 1 row of people right on the rail and I was like the 2nd row, so pretty close. I wasn't really sure if it was important that I get a good spot because obviously at 5 o'clock I was going to be moving anyway, but I didn't know if there maybe was stuff that was going to be happening before 5, so I just got a good spot and figured, you know, if I need to move, someone else will take my spot and that's fine. So I was there by myself and I ended up starting to talk to some girls that were next to me, and I mentioned the wristband thing and I was like, yeah, they told me that I'm going to be one of the people on the stage, and they were like really excited for me. They're like, that's so awesome. And we're looking at the stage, right? And there's like a slightly raised platform with like a little rail in front of it. So it kind of seemed like that's where they were going to put people, but it was kind of hard to tell for sure. There was also like music equipment, instruments, I think those are called instruments. Anyway, there was like drums and stuff like that on the stage, and I was like, maybe those are gonna move and that's where they're gonna put us. Also, this was super nice, and I totally didn't think of this, but the girl who was next to me offered to take my photo while I was up there. She's like, yeah, I'm sure I could get some really good photos of you with like Bernie. And I was like, oh my god, I love Dick Van Dyke too, and he's gonna be there. Could you take some photos of me with him? Like, and she was like, maybe you'll get to meet them. And I was like, yeah, maybe I will. And I posted on Facebook too about it, and people were like, oh my god, maybe you'll get to meet Bernie, like that's gonna be so awesome. And I even posted, I was like, just so you guys know, I'm gonna be on stage with Bernie tonight, so you guys better watch, you better look for me. But then what actually happened was the stage that we were on was actually like quite a ways behind Bernie. And now that I think about it, I think what the volunteer might have said was, do you want to be on stage behind Bernie? Do you want to be on the stage behind Bernie during the event? That might have been what they said. And I pictured be on the stage behind Bernie. But I think what they actually meant was be on the stage behind Bernie. Be on the separate stage. Be on the stage that is located behind Bernie. You see what I'm saying? Hopefully what I just said made a tiny bit of sense. Anyway, so at 5 o'clock I went over there to meet, and I kind of had a feeling this wasn't going to go how I thought it was, because there's like a separate like platform with like risers, I guess it's called, where there's like different like steps, different levels of like rows. And I was like, I don't get it. Is Bernie going to be speaking over here? Is this stage thing going to move over there? Because we were like considerably further away than I was if I had just kept my original seat. It was still a really cool experience though, and I'm glad that I did it. No regrets. Plus I did get a picture of myself with Bernie Sanders. I'll show it to you right now. Oh, what's that? Oh, you can't see me? Here, let me clarify. Yeah, that's just a screenshot from the live stream, and I made it my Facebook profile picture. I don't care that you can't tell it's me. I know it's me. I'm like 92% sure that it's me. I also did sneak out my phone and take a total of 1 photo of Bernie. This is it. You can't really tell that that's him either. It was also a really good spot to watch the musicians because we were kind of like up higher, so we could kind of look down on the stage a little bit. And the last event of the night after Bernie spoke was Public Enemy, which I will insert a little clip of right here.
Be able to see that, you know what? In this office, I don't expect miracles. I didn't expect miracles with Barack Obama. I gotta look at myself and be ready to fight no matter who is in office and stop bullshit. Listen. I know damn well there ain't gonna be no Messiah and Jesus in the White House in the United States of America. But you know what? I certainly can recognize a motherfucking Hitler. Let's fight the power, y'all. Get nothing. Hey, give me while you can. No one knowing while the black man's sweat. Here's the rhythm of God. Got to give us what we want. Got to give us what we need. Hey, our freedom is peace. This freedom is death. We got to fight the powers that be. Let me you say, fight the power. You got to fight. See what y'all. Fight the power. Let me you say, fight the power. You got to fight the power.
That's about it. It was a really cool event, and if you have the opportunity to go to any of the rallies that he has coming up in other cities, I would highly recommend it. I'll post a link below. I'll post a couple of links in the description. I'll post one to the live stream from the event that I was at in case you want to watch it and look for me in the crowd. You won't be able to find me. Like I was barely able to find me, and I know what I look like. I mean, you know what I look like too, but you know what I mean. Anyway, I will post the link to the live stream. I'll post a link to future events if you want to find something going on near you. I'll post probably the volunteer link. I'll post some stuff. Just go look in the description box, and I will see you later.